Hello and welcome back to art class. We are currently working on our second grade project, our star color wheel. Okay? For this next part, we only really need your drawing that you should have finished, and hopefully you have it labeled. You're going to need your colored pencils. If you don't have colored pencils, you can do this with crayon, but colored pencil is going to work the best. There are a couple colors you're not going to use. You are not going to use a yellow, green, or the red orange. So it's best to have those pushed off to the side so they don't get in the way. So I'm going to push mine off to the side. And we're going to use just the basic 6 colors of the rainbow plus brown, black, and white. And we'll talk about those 3 colors in a minute. Our focus today is going to be needing to color this in. So we'll get to that in just a second. Make sure you have a pencil sharpener handy. That's going to make things a little bit easier. All right, so I'm just going to start off really easy. We're going to go in color order. I do have a regular pencil handy because what I want is to erase before I color. So there's the red, so guess what? That's going to be red. So I like to outline first. Obviously fill in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up the video a little bit so that you're not watching me color every single spot of the 6 basics colors, your primary and secondary colors, for a long period of time. So I'm going to go ahead and speed that up so you can watch me color these all pretty much very quickly. Okay, next, this first part should be pretty simple. The next part is not very difficult either. What you're going to do next is you're going to be coloring the individual spaces between each of these colors. So we've been doing the basics. So we did our 3 primaries, which is a yellow, red, and blue. We did our 3 secondary colors, which are orange, purple, or violet, and then green. And now we're going to go what are called tertiary colors. They're the 3rd level of colors where we start mixing the 2 that are next door. So like here, you would have red and orange. When you're working with colored pencils, yes, I know sometimes we have red-orange in the sets, but I want you to show me that you know how to actually make the color, because it's not always available. So I want you to actually make it. And to do that, what we're going to do is you're going to put down the light color first. So of these 2 colors, the orange is the lighter one. So I'm going to go in very lightly, add a layer of orange down. Sure it's nice and filled in here. Then I'm going to go ahead and lightly add in a layer of red. Notice I'm trying to use the side of the pencil as much as I can so that it doesn't go too dark. Okay. Now sometimes it gets a little too red, like right in here is a little too red. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of orange over the top, kind of blend it back to more of a red-orange color. Clean up my edges a little bit. All right. Now, is it going to be a perfect blending? No, but it should look really good. Okay, next, I'm going to go to the next one. I got orange and yellow, so that's the two colors that'll go here. Of the two, which is the lighter one? Obviously it's going to be the yellow. So again, I'm going to take it and I'm going to lightly put in some yellow. Now the yellow is super light, so I actually push a smidge harder with the yellow to make sure there's a good coating in there of yellow. Like that. Well, maybe a little more yellow here. Okay, then I'm going to use my orange and I'm going to very carefully go over it. Super light, because the orange can take over really quick if you're not careful. Then I'm going to go ahead and add another layer of yellow on top to kind of make sure it's a yellow orangish color. Again, it's not a perfect blending, but it does give you the sense of the yellow-orange color. Like that. And then we're going to move on to the yellow-green color. So yellow and green, obviously yellow is clearly lighter, so I'm going to do yellow first. Again, I like to make the yellow spot a little bit darker than I would other colors, just so it shows up really well. And I know sometimes there's a yellow-green in your set, but again, I want you to show me that you can make the yellow-green because it's not always available. Then I'll go back over it with some yellow. Like that. So the next one would be blue-green, because there's blue and green here. Now the blue and the green are roughly the same darkness. So what I tend to do is I'm going to do the blue first on this one. All right, I'm going to add in the green here. Back over it with some blue. And the mixing is why I really wanted you to use the regular blue versus the sky blue. The light blue doesn't quite mix as well for these colors. It can mix, it just doesn't work as well for a good mixing here. You should get kind of a, like almost like a sea green color, or it's blue-green, but it reminds me of the ocean a little bit. Okay. Next is the blue and the violet. Again, they're pretty close to the same, so since I had the blue in my hand, I will start off with blue. Now the purple or the violet. And red. I'm going to do the red first. And the violet. Okay, and we have our basic color wheel. Now we do the 4 spots on the inside. One spot will be just plain white, and you can actually just leave it white. There's no sense in coloring it. Then one spot will be brown, because that is a neutral color, and those are usually shown in the middle. Next is going to be black, so that is also a neutral color. It's not warm, cold, primary, or secondary. It is a neutral color. You want to make sure your black is pretty dark. I'll explain why in just a second. And the last one is gray. Again, some boxes have gray in it, but in this one we don't. In order to make gray, you got 2 colors, black and white. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a layer of white down, because again, that's the lightest color. It will be kind of hard to tell where you put it. Just do the best you can. Try to give it a good coating. And then you're going to use the black, and you're going to go super, super light. Now, sometimes you can just do the without the white part, but I like to mix them together when I can. So I think it makes a better looking gray. If you use your black super, super light, some people will count that as the gray. Okay, what I'm going to do is then go back over it a second time. Use the white to kind of blend it a little bit more. It's important that you go the same direction as what you colored. It looks better. Okay. And that's your color wheel. The optional thing is to cut off the extra white, so this is optional, but you could go in and very carefully trim off the extra. We would normally trim it off if we were in person, because then I would glue it to a black piece of paper, because black paper really makes this stand out quite a bit. But that's not a requirement. What I do need is you to have all the coloring done. So it looks something like this. And then what I need you to do is you're going to take a photo of it like we did before during the first part of it, and you're going to send it to me so that I can grade it. And we will see you next week.